Hey, 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 here's the wake up call. With Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call. Hey, 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 it's the wake up call. With Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call. Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up.
All right. All right, it's the wake-up call with Horace Sheffield. How about that? Man, I'm geeked on that, baby. I'm gonna get me a convertible vehicle this summer and ride around Detroit with that. It's the wake-up call. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? How everybody out there? All right, we got my bonnets and my hats and everything else. Good to have you here. We do this live every Saturday. We want to tell people again, and we got some partnerships coming that are going to be just magnificent in terms of our scope and reach. But we have biscuits, grits, and salmon croquettes every Saturday, absolutely free. In fact, I don't mind if you come and eat with me. All my haters and naysayers, y'all come eat too. We have a different plate for you though. We got DMC here today, so you want to go far to figure out why you're sick. No, I'm just teasing. Want to welcome my co-host, the indomitable and incomparable classmate of mine, the mean Joe Green in the tunnel with the towel and the Coke. Or was it a Pepsi?
It was a Coke.
It was a Coca-Cola. And Ed wore number 71. I was number 72. His class was 71. Class of 72. I looked up at Ed. Ed would knock him down, look over him. And if he didn't have on his pants, he would pee on them, but he couldn't do it. That's how mean he was. I'm telling you the truth. Mean, he'd knock him down.
I'm not mean. I'm just a Detroiter.
You would knock him down.
I'm just a Detroiter.
So how you doing, man? You all right?
I'm doing all right, but I got to tell you, the boat's got to go.
The what?
My boat.
I got rid of mine.
I got to get rid of mine.
I got rid of mine. Every time I turn around, it costs more money, man. It's a floating money grabber.
Hey. It is
no, by the grace of God, my guy put my boat in too early last year because he was trying to, we'd had it in storage and had work done on it. Yeah. Put it out there, put it in the wrong berth that was too small. A big windstorm came and did $40-some thousand worth of damage on my boat.
Oh,
so the insurance company paid me off.
They didn't put them buoys on them.
I mean, it was destined for me not to have that boat anymore. Well, anyway, by the way, Ed, you losing weight, man.
No, I'm gaining it. Now I found everybody's weight loss program there is. Whatever person out there lost weight, I found it. I'm going to tell it like it is.
All right, then we have Sabrina Athena.
Welcome. Hey, everybody. Hey. Glad to be here.
I'm going to give a shout out to the staff that make this show possible with Gerald Smith. Gerald is my producer. Raven is our social media person that has me blown all up on social media. Is that my phone?
Yeah.
Raven, you calling me? I better stop calling names. They might call me. And of course, David Strong that does the master control. Right. He don't have a third-class license, but he does a pretty decent job. Me and Gerald used to have a third-class license. Did I mention you, Gerald? Gerald Smith, my producer.
Right.
Nakaya, who is the technical person to put stuff up on the board. And let's get rolling. What we have up on the board today. That's not, I guess that's everybody. So, tomorrow it ends my 15th pastoral anniversary. We had Marvin Winans on Wednesday night. The place was packed. It was a great message. At the Bridge Center, 9928 Grand River. Come and say hello, 3 o'clock. I'm so glad I had the service at 3 because the Pistons play at 8, so that means I can still go to the game. Next. All right, this is our Motor City Makeover. Dable's going to be involved with this, but I can't see any of the information, Lakai. All it has is Motor City Makeover. The date and everything else is obscured. So let's keep moving. We got to fit them on the screen or move it up so we can actually see. And why are everything is bigger than the screen now? That's June 5th. This is White with Fear. It was on PBS. The Detroit affiliate chose not to air it for whatever crazy reason. I'm actually in this. I was in New York. I'm in here 5 or 6 times with Hillary Clinton and Obama and all kind of folks. It's a really great piece. It talks about why we are where we are because white men are afraid they're losing something they stole. Y'all missed that. They losing what they stole, and they know there's a date certain at which they're gonna be in the minority. So they're trying to reconstruct the government so that even if people of color run everything, can't do nothing to them. Next. But we do have to fit these in the screen. They used to be fitted in the screen. This is Donnell Rollins. Funny as heck. Where's the date? I don't see the date on it. The date is obscured. I don't know what's going on, but anyway, you can go to Event Noir, find all of our events. Next. Normally, we can see everything on the screen. This is our Detroit Talent Showcase, and we have quarterly finalists. Every month we're going to have this. The quarterly finalists get to win $2,500 plus money, and you get to be on TV. We're going to have an actual TV show on WADL. But no, normally it is T. Barber's hosting, yeah. But I'm saying normally we can see everything on the screen, but for whatever reason. I hear you, Lakai. I'm just saying what I'm used to. Next. All right, these ain't no jokes. This is Earthquake will be there July 22nd. That date is obscured as well. You can go to, you got to go to the Big Heart. You got to actually hit this QR code. And I don't know if Valerie or anybody, do you have the QR code? It's on the flyer. You don't have it at Raven? I'm going to send it to you. All right, yeah. Well, see Raven. I'm putting Raven to work beyond taking pictures this morning. So, yeah, you can, she has the information. You have to actually go and download the Big Heart app, which we're working with Big Heart, so that people have free access to, what is comparable to WebEx and Zoom and all kind of other ways of being able to send and receive money without any fee and going directly into your account. So really excited about having him here. Next. This is Nzima, that's my girl. She got married, by the way, to the chagrin. And that's Lynn Roundtree to the left. His wife will be here today. And, of course, Florella Strings, a local violinist. And I don't have the date. I can't see the date, so I can't tell you when it is. It's coming up at some point. So all of these things are all on Event Noir. And is there anything else? That's it. Okay. All right. Well, you fit that in there. Move it out some more. We get rid of the 2 on the right. All right. So we got a great guest for us. We're very pleased to have DMC. I've had you may not know this, Nicole, but real history with DMC. My dad, under Coleman Young's tenure, was chair of the board of DMC and literally built the new hospital against Coleman Young's wishes. Coleman wanted to get out of the hospital business altogether. At that time, it was a part of the city of Detroit and in the city's budget, and it was a big cost item for him. But he partnered with George Gullins and got university clinics built, and they built that new facility. And in fact, died in that hospital. My mother worked at receiving to the day she died, so I've got a great connection. In fact, my dad, I said he died in receiving. So anyway, you're here from DMC, Director of Behavioral Health. Director. Boy, that's prestigious. Say something.
Yes, my name is Nicole Claudin, and I am the Director of Behavioral Health at DMC Sinai Grace Hospital.
Are you related to Smokey Robinson's ex-wife?
No,
Claudette.
sir, I'm not.
That's her name, Claudette Claudin. You're not?
No.
Did you know that was her name, Claudette?
No.
Claudette Claudin. His first wife. She actually sang in Smokey and Robinson and the Miracles. She's still living too, and she's in Detroit. Isn't that something?
It is very something.
Yeah. So just take a risk sometimes. Yeah, I'm related to her. The tracks of her tears.
Right.
That fits in with your whole motif.
Yes.
How did you get to be into behavioral health?
Well, I've been a nurse, a registered nurse for over 25 years.
Okay.
I'm actually an advanced practice registered nurse. I'm actually psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner. I also have a doctorate of nursing practice degree. So,
Wow, you bad. So where you get your doctorate at?
Purdue University.
Wonderful. That's outstanding.
All right. Come
My
on, Purdue.
my daughter, who's mayor, her mother had a PhD in nursing. My current wife is a family nurse practitioner. We own our own clinic. So I guess because my mother was a nurse,
Yeah.
I like nurses. They take good care of you.
Yes, we
Yeah,
do.
but they don't always take care of themselves. Can you help me understand that, how people who practice medicine and insist that others take care of themselves often self-diagnose themselves or don't take advantage of the same access to care that they want other folks to?
That's a great question. I think a lot of times we pour so much into others because that's our profession. We're often the last ones to take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
So I, to be honest, be perfectly frank, I can be like that as well.
Yeah.
Because the mission continues, and in the current climate that we're dealing with now, is more important for us to be good so we can pour into others. So
Yeah.
I've been very proactive now trying to do that, taking
Okay.
time out.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on in terms of mental health. I keep up with it. Teen suicide has been off the hook, and in the current social and political crisis that we face, a lot of that's on the rise. So what is that climate out there in terms of mental health right now?
Well, working at Sinai Grace Hospital, you see people that are victims of homelessness, domestic violence, substance use disorder, just financial stressors, because now more than ever we're paying double and triple what we used to pay for things. So people have more things that they have coming at them than ever before, and none of us are not. All of us are affected by this.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just very important to sometimes understand that we have a lot of things coming at us, but at first and foremost, we have to be good to ourselves. We got to stop comparing ourselves to other people. We are all fighting a battle, whether people believe it or not. I'm sitting up here, no matter what my credentials are, no matter where I live, wherever I work, I am facing something.
Yeah.
So none of us are immune to that, but we have to, it's strength in numbers. So we have to give each other hope.
Yeah, I'd say, and I'm going to ask Sabrina to ask a question. I say all the time, and that's why we created the Well of Wellness Guidance Centers, that all of us are learning or trying to learn how to dance in our darkness, right? I mean, there's formidable forces that have nothing to do with us. I mean, we create our own chaos, right? We create our own circumstances, but it's coupled with everything else that's going on. I went and bought, the God is good. I rarely feel a financial pinch. I thank the Lord for that. I went to fill up my car yesterday, the Yukon, that is Dabo's vehicle, and the freaking gas was $5 and almost $5.50 for premium. And then it cuts off at 100. Don't let you get $100. And with $100, I didn't even have a full tank, and I had a mental health moment. At the end,
My
Sabrina,
goodness, I'm having one with you right now.
Regular gas is for almost $5, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
What? 509. Raven said 509. And for some of us, that's a crisis.
It absolutely is. I don't go nowhere I don't need to go no more.
Yeah.
Promise you that.
Well, you should have been doing that already. But go ahead.
Well, I like
that's why you need counseling, because you keep going to places you shouldn't go.
Listen, me and everyone else is human in here, okay? And so the social media aspect of things too, because we're talking about external stressors and things that we are up against that we've never been up against before. What are some of the effects of, from your perspective, the social media climate, as well as the administration, and how that's been absorbed in our community?
Well, I really feel sad. I used to think, like, when I was a little kid, I had a lot of stuff to contend with. But these kids now, when they're looking at the social media and they're seeing all the glitz and glamour, they don't know the history what these individuals had to do to get to those points.
Well, first of all, a lot of it is fake anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, they taking a picture in front of a Phantom Rolls Royce and they catching the bus.
Exactly.
I mean, for real.
You are who you say you are, apparently.
Huh?
I said you are who you say you are, apparently. That's anybody can say they anything.
Yeah. But look at that nice picture of you. And it's all on the screen. Look at that. Everything.
Oh my God, I'm gonna take a picture.
Make sure Raven, you get a couple good photos for her. We're gonna take a picture in front of that. That you come up. Go ahead, Sabrina. Did you finish your question?
I was asking about some of the effects of just the administration and like you said, our pressures that come about now that weren't previous to now. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe about 10 years ago at this point, we did not have a Republican president.
Right. And I think a lot of the things that are happening with the administration, a lot of us are not aware of, or we don't do our research. And that's really sad because it's things that are happening that are affecting us we have no knowledge about. And so knowledge is power. So you try not to get too political, but you ask a person to study to show that themselves approved. So you have to be able to share as much knowledge as possible. So my thing is, it's a lot of resources out here. A lot of these young kids, they want to take the short route and then they get disenfranchised or they get discouraged because it's you getting a job that's paying $12 an hour, but guess what? Your rent is like $1,200 and $1,300. That's unheard of.
It's ridiculous.
So let me just put a pin in one thing you said, because we have, as an organization, and Ed is on the board, had to grapple with losing 4 of our 6 SAMHSA grants. We've had to scrub our name for DEI purposes. 2 weeks ago, people don't pay attention, but I've brought this to everyone's attention. Trump said he's issuing an executive order that even if you've scrubbed your organization name and eliminated DEI, if there's been any previous iterations of DEI in your operation, you'll not be funded as well.
Wow.
So this is very serious. Every hospital, DMC, I deal with Corewell as well. They have all lost millions of dollars, and primarily in those areas that, affect us, communicating to us about what we need to do, because our physical maladies are different. We don't necessarily address them. We don't know what they are. So that's a really important point that you made, and I think you did it in a politically correct way. Ed?
Yes. Well, I had to ask this because back in the day, we didn't have the same kind of external influences on us, because now you got television, you got computers and whatnot, social media, like these challenges they were doing for quite a while, they're detrimental to your health. There are a lot of things that young people are seeing today and older people.
Yeah, far more stimulus.
There you go.
Yeah.
So what is the plan to try to do that? How do you offset that? Because it's coming from every direction. You get stimulus while you sleep. Most people sleep with the television on or radio on. Yeah. So they're being affected during their sleep time.
And by the way, put AI in that, because if you go on your phone and you search something or even say something now, then that will bring stuff up.
Right.
It's amazing. Yes, go ahead.
So
doctor. We didn't have doctor on there.
Yeah.
Oh, there. I'm sorry, doctor.
Yeah, thank you so much. I just think if I can't say anything, I would just say that it is up to all of us to be able to take these young kids, because that is truly our future. We have to take and wrap our hands around them, because when I was growing up around in this area, I had people that, seen me doing some stuff and they corrected me, and they went and told my mother, and my mother supported it, and she continued to correct me. And it did not always have to be family members. It had to be people that care or seen you was going down a path you shouldn't have went through.
Yeah.
So we have that. And also, just to be very transparent, we're seeing a lot of young kids that's coming in the hospital. They're using this marijuana that they're lacing with all type of substances, and it's impacting their brain chemistry. So these individuals that were somewhat normal previously or had no other.
Yeah, I've had experience with that psychotropic. Episodes.
Yes.
Well, first of all, Michigan has the least regulated THC content in legal marijuana, upwards to almost 90%. When Ed smoked weed, Panama Red or whatever back in high school, it was all natural.
Plum Street was open.
And I'm just saying, it literally, I had to deal in my church with people. And by the way, if there's some predisposition, this triggers it immediately. So now you go into psychosis and schizophrenic manifestations. But you're absolutely certain that these medications. So what I want to talk about, and that's a good point, is there's certain things that begin to manifest themselves at certain ages. I'm a pastor, but I also deal in public health, mental health, and all that. So when people begin to tell me about things, I know immediately, some of the signs that, they were fine until they were 24, 25. Some of these things don't manifest themselves.
Right.
Some of what we're going through, we obviously can address through counseling. But there also is a time when there's medication that's required.
Right.
And some of the medications, by the way, I've got people in my congregation who are schizophrenic, take one shot a month and you would never know it. They're just as normal as everybody else. And wrestle probably with years thinking that, that they were all right. And everyone else around knew that things were all wrong. Yeah. So, encourage people, I think, is what I'm saying, that it's a physical ailment. It's a biological disorder. And just like diabetes, if you don't treat it, you'll lose a limb, you'll have gangrene, you'll die, you're blind. There's nothing wrong with admitting that you need some help.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And also, too, what we don't always understand is a lot of us are victims of trauma, whether it's adverse childhood experience, like you had parents that were locked up, you were dealing with food insecurities as children, you didn't have proper shelter, you didn't have proper guidance. Also, environmental stressors. A lot of our neighborhoods, you don't have access to fresh fruit, but you got plenty of liquor stores, you got plenty of this fast food that's not helpful. So people don't think about it. Sometimes it's even the food that we eat can impact our mental health. So, we're not going to solve any of these issues overnight, but being proactive is very important. And most important, don't lose hope. If I lost hope, I would not be sitting here because my circumstances look grim and I did not have any hope. And if it wasn't for anybody that said, listen, you matter, you value, you're smart, take it and run with it.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for these programs, that some of these programs are no longer in existence, I would not have had the quality of life that I have now. But guess what? I don't just use it for myself. I use it to advocate. I sit here and I believe knowledge is power. And just to show everybody in this room matters. And if anybody told you didn't, that's not true.
You came today to tell them that they do.
Yes.
And here's the most important thing. I deal with D-Win and all of those. And they have borrowed some of my idioms. The one that I use most often in the church is called prayer plus. God has the power to do what no doctor can do. But at the same time, he also has gifted individuals with the ability to be used to assist us, right? So, I have to pray, but I also got to go see folk who know what's going on. And that doesn't take away from God. That doesn't diminish your faith. I doubt very seriously if I've been doing something for 38 years, 13 days, and 55 minutes, that you're going to lay your hand on me for 3 minutes and all of a sudden it's gone. I just think we have to encourage people that there's nothing wrong with getting help. Can you talk about that? Because I've had people in my church, and listen to this. This is so real, because we have family members that will tell us, bring them to me. I know how to handle them. I know what to do with them, And by the way, some of those people have been killed because they couldn't handle them when it got completely out of control.
I just think when I was growing up, I didn't know what a counselor was outside of that counselor that showed me what kind of classes I was going to take. That I'm like, but I'm dealing with, I don't know what I'm going to eat later on. I mean, it would have been nice to have that person available. Or when I was struggling as a teenager and, my mother wasn't there because she was on drugs. How do I navigate that? And I did not realize that I was a victim of adverse childhood experiences and I had trauma. And what people don't realize is trauma is sometimes can be generational. So it can travel if you don't address it. So it's nothing wrong with talking to someone. A lot of my patients that I talk to, I'm not there to just prescribe them some medication. A lot of times they just want to talk and I listen and they feel that I'm authentic and I'm not fake and phony with these individuals. So I'm able to instill hope with them because that's what it comes down to.
You have a gift. But let me just tell you, what you hit on is so powerful. Lost my mother at 16, watched her die. And the week of her mourning, my father's friends offered me alcohol, that said I would feel better. And that led to basically a 15-year trail of drugs and alcohol. But I became cognizant of the fact that what my problem was really rooted in the inability to handle grief. And subsequent issues of grief just impacted the original issue of grief. So this is what I did. I have a lot of friends in the industry, and they turn me on to this person outside of Philadelphia who is a hypnotic grief counselor. Because we don't even know, by the way, how this stuff has affected us. And when I got done sitting there for an hour and a half, she wrote down stuff I didn't even know I was saying about things that happened to me that had impacted me. You know what I'm saying? That I had buried, right? And so what do? We anesthetize ourselves. We do things like that. So it's so important. I think the point we're making is that you go talk to somebody, you go find somebody who can help you navigate through this. How do we contact? Do you do individual counseling yourself?
Yes.
Okay. How do we contact you or contact your department?
So I work out of DMC Sinai Grace Hospital. We will give you guys a contact number, but also I'm going to say it is 313-966-3300. We are having a great event today too as
yes.
well.
Yes, sorry we didn't get to that. Our producer made it sure we knew. Today is Mental Health Day, Awareness Day.
Yes.
And Dion Williams is participating in this.
Dion is phenomenal.
Yeah, you tell Dion I got away from him. My mental health has been much better. Go ahead.
So today at Sinai Grace, we're having a mental health awareness day in partnership with the NAACP. It's a totally free event. It's going to be today from 12 to 3. We're going to have a lot of different organizations coming there. So if you're dealing with lack of insurance, you need some mental health support, you have some food challenges, housing instabilities, you have a lot of organizations there that can direct you in the right path. So please feel free. We're going to have raffles, free food, DJ. It's going to be a really nice event for all who can join.
At Sinai Grace. Yeah, what time does it start again?
It starts at 12 to 3 today.
So, I had the greatest mental health counselor in the world, my grandfather. I was 10 years old. His cousins owned a restaurant on Shane and Ferry called Hattie's and Maddie's. And one day we went over there and there was an old man on the sidewalk graveling, just crying like a baby. And my grandpa said, "What's wrong, old man?" He said, "Well, I had this young girl and she took my car, my money." He grabbed him, stood him up and gave him a $20 bill. He said, "Old man, next time you lose your money, don't lose your mind." So much of what I deal with as a pastor is people who can't handle losing stuff, right? They've identified their self-worth with the stuff.
Like hoarding.
Marriages that fall apart, they blame themselves, right? And this is why, and Monet is not here, but we do a lot of stuff in terms of grief counseling and all that. And then, by the way, significant number of people have been hurt in church. So they go to a place to look for help, and it's not helpful. So again, the last minute, it just really convinced people why they need to see somebody and not let these things fester.
I just think that you should always, I hope that everyone remembers that tomorrow is another day. You're not by yourself. It's people out there to help more than ever. So don't give up. Just in us that's maybe not struggling with something. If you see somebody and you know because they're not acting the same, they're erratic, or they've withdrawn, they're crying, any of those signals, just reach out to that person. You may can't help them, but put them in a direction to someone that can help them.
Don't tell them they need help. Take them to get help. We'll be right back after this.
You've been listening to
Here's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call.
This is Super Bowl champion Lomas Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Grover in Kansas, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your girl, Randy Rosario, comedian and TV host. I get my Saturday wake-up call with my guy, Reverend Horace Sheffield. Think about it. Good day.
I'm Sheriff Raphael Washington, Wayne County, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up every Saturday morning from Reverend Horace Sheffield, and you should too.
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Hello, everybody. This is your girl, Erica Alexander, and every Saturday morning, I get my wake-up call with Reverend Sheffield. Make sure you go on and get some of that. All right? What is that? Is that someone called? Is it Saturday?
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your man Mike Epps, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Sheffield. Make sure you get yours.
I'm Hester Wheeler, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
This is Super Bowl champion Lomas Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Grover in Kansas, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
You've been listening to
Here's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call.
Hey, Raven.
It's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call. Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up.
All right, we got Reggie Harding revisited here. You know, brought him to mind. You know, the great Reggie Harding. Before I go any further, this is Sports on the Mark, right? Turn your mics on.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Sports on the Mark. I was just wondering, because I heard Lomas do that piece for me. Has anybody heard anything about Lomas? I heard a while ago he was sick again. Does that anybody know about that or no? Okay.
Yeah, I had heard he was sick, but I don't know.
Yeah. At one point, some people had asked for prayer for him. Well, the Pistons showed up in Cleveland.
They are the cardiac kids. They keep you going, but they got that grit. Detroit's got that grit.
Is it? Well, let me tell you something. First of all, before we talk about the stuff we ought to celebrate, if Cade Cunningham turned the ball over one more damn time, I mean, you know, in that stretch where they were getting close, he turned it over like 2 or 3 times in a row.
Well, he's a high turnover player.
But I'm saying look, that's fundamental. Some of the passes, Sam, that they made, I would have never made, and I ain't in the NBA. I mean, you just can't pass a ball through somebody and expect he's going to get to the other player.
Like I keep saying, he's not a true point guard, and he played 42 minutes. He's
right,
tired.
Right.
He let somebody else handle the ball.
Yeah. So do you think the mix-up of the rotation made a difference? Because I think they did bring someone in who was playing some of the point guard last night.
And that's what they did all year. They had like a 10-man rotation.
Yeah.
And then the playoffs started, they cut it to 7.
Right.
And that hurt them.
Yeah.
So they got smart, and they had to,
or the coach got smart.
Yeah, the coach got smart or pressured one of the two.
Well, let's introduce our host, by the way, the indomitable and incomparable Mark Jones, who knows everything about sports and refuses anybody have a different opinion.
That's not true.
Introduce your co-host.
We got Reggie Walker, long time.
Hey, Reggie, say hello.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
He's a sports aficionado. He loves football and the Lions, and that's where we can talk to him about.
Yeah.
Especially.
I looked up the
basketball.
tickets. I was going to go to Munich, and the Lions issued their packages yesterday. Did you see them?
What about 5,000?
No, if you want airfare, $7,500
A person?
Wow.
per person.
Oh, that's crazy.
That come with accommodations.
But you know, I went and looked into Delta and the rest of that. I can get. They want like $5,000 for the air, but I guess they're packaging people on one plane or something. But no, I wouldn't pay $7,500 to go to Munich to watch the Lions and be disappointed.
Yeah, we also have Sam Washington here, basketball.
The indomitable Sam. I knew his daddy.
Yes.
Do his daddy well. I
Cecilia.
I played at St. Cecilia. Lindell Reason was my mentor. And Lindell got drafted by the Denver Nuggets, first round draft choice. His best friend was my sister's boyfriend. And so, you know, Bobby Showboat Hall was my coach. I played for Earl Chicken, and I played with all those guys, man. So when I went back to Saginaw Valley State, you know, my sophomore year, you know, I had played center, believe it or not, my freshman year, because I could jump, you know, and I hold it down, you know. But when I got back my second year, he said, man, who gave you these skills? I'm down to St. Cecilia balling, man.
That's right. Yeah. You had the wall on one side and the poles on the other.
Yeah.
No ceiling.
There you go. You had to learn your game down there. Anyway, we're excited to have you guys here on a regular basis. We're doing some things to expand, by the way. In the next 30 days or so, we'll have a nice new digital screen here. So you guys can come over, and we're launching our Detroit Community Network, and, you know, working with some people, we getting equipment to make that happen. And sports is going to be a big part of what we're doing. All right.
That's great.
Sports on the mark.
Yes, sir.
All right. So the Pistons going to win tomorrow night?
Sam?
I think so now. You know, they're back at home. I was nervous last night. I to be honest, I didn't think they were going to win at Cleveland last night. But the boys, they put it together.
They held down the whole game, actually, from beginning to end. There was a point at which, though, like at halftime, where they only up like 3 points or something.
Yeah, it was tight. It was tight.
Yeah,
they came out balling. They extended their rotation, which was the key, in my opinion. And they refused to go home.
Yeah. So one last question before we bring these two in. Do you think they've been unfair to Duran? I mean, last night he had a good game, a lot of baskets at the rim. I mean, what are you thinking? I mean, what was different last night for him?
You got to call a spade a spade. Duran's had a horrible series.
He has. Right. They've shared with us the fall off in terms of points, rebounds, and everything else.
Well, let me tell you, go ahead, Rich.
No, you go ahead.
Let me tell you what I think. Yesterday, Cade didn't monopolize the ball as much. They spread it out like Sam was saying. And everybody got involved. That opened up the key for Duran to play basketball, to play his game. And
so are you saying that his performance was not completely his fault?
Of course.
Do you believe that? Come on.
You know what? I think Duran has an issue with playing against guys who have real length and who are very good athletes. Pistons.
Right.
I mean, as good of an athlete.
How about, by the way, let's be kind to him. He's very young. He looks older than.
Yeah, he looks like he's 35 years
He's
old.
22 years old.
Right.
But I agree with that, Reg. But if you open up the key for him, then that lessens the emphasis on those
here was the
players.
key. Here was the key last night. The Pistons shot 44% from the three last night. As a result, they had to extend the defense. They couldn't pack that zone in.
There you go. There you go.
Right.
Well, I got to put my 2 cents in here because I said it last week and I'll say it again. When Cade Cunningham scores less than 30, the Pistons win.
Yep. Okay. Well, they win sometimes when he scores 30. But I think the important thing for Duran is absolutely right. The 3-point ball was on. That opens up the key. And so, Sabrina Athena, you have a question for these gentlemen.
I absolutely do. I've been paying closer attention because the Pistons are winning. So, down in Cleveland and in Detroit, we got this fun back and forth happening with our cousins down south from us. And this is kind of a question that's not necessarily within the repertoire, but I have a more of a social fashion question. You guys realize that we are the only city that does not want to wear the shirts that says beat the other team? Why do you think that is? What is it about the Detroit
Are we the
fans?
only city that don't do that?
We are the only ones. Every other city has on some kind of shirt that say beat the other team.
I didn't know
but
that.
the Pistons fans refuse to wear them.
Well, we the only Detroit there is.
Period.
That's something in the home makings.
We're special. We're special.
No, because Detroit is a fashion mecca.
Yes, it is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they don't go to the games to be fashionable. They wear T-shirts and things.
Yes, they do.
Well, look. I go to the games, and I'm telling you, people wear their Piston stuff, and so I don't know if we can really unpack the psychology of why Detroiters don't have that T-shirt.
We'll wear it.
Maybe someone just didn't organize it.
We'll wear it the day after the game, but not game time.
Yeah. You have a question,
That
young
makes
man?
sense.
You got to turn the mic on.
Yes, I do.
Okay, I figured that's why you were standing there. I didn't think you wanted to show us how you dress when you go to the game.
Well, I do dress like this, right?
I'm saying, right, yeah.
Well,
Come on, hold. Your wife wants to get it. Come on up front and get a picture of him. He's been waiting for this moment.
All right.
Raven, can you get him, please, so we can, highlight him? Go ahead.
All right, fellas, now that we've gotten fashion out of the way, sports. Now that the Pistons are in control of the series, I think they win Game 7, Reg. Who do they have the better chance against? And they're going to beat New York. I said New York. I said
you think they're going to beat New York without any problem?
I didn't say. Let me finish.
And I think New York is on fire.
I didn't say with no problem.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a 6 or 7 game series.
Yeah. Okay.
But the thing is, it's still in New York's back of their mind, Reg, that they haven't beat them in the regular season.
I think some of that's going to come in.
That's going to come into play, and this layoff is going to come into play.
Yeah.
And New York has to win a game here. If they get to the finals, or when they get to the finals, talking about the Pistons, who do they match up better against?
Neither. They lose.
OKC or San Antonio.
They lose in 5 games.
Hey, you say that, but that's on paper.
They lose against San Antonio in 5 games?
They lose against San Antonio in 5 games.
What do you think,
Okay.
Sam?
His answer was a lot quicker than your question.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what Sam thinks. Sam is our
Sam?
NBA.
Sam is grimacing. He don't necessarily agree with that.
No, I think they're going to play OKC if they go to the finals, and that's going to be tight.
So you think OKC is going to beat San Antonio?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
I think they
So
match up better.
so your whole
against OKC.
scenario's off.
I think they match up better against OKC. They really do.
Right. So then that's who they're going to play. Especially since y'all said they were going to win the championship this year.
Well, he says it's over in 5.
All right. Ed, you got a question?
Yeah, well, I got more of a statement.
Thank you,
because
Doc.
With New York, we're already in New York's head. And I'm going to tell you, if somebody gets into their opponent's head, they got half the battle won. And that's with all sports.
I think a lot of this is sheer speculation.
I hear you speculation.
I think it's sheer speculation. I will say this, and I've shared it with Mark because I used to have suites at the Palace. I mean, my daughter grew up and son going to all of those games, whether it was Chauncey Billups or Isaiah and that crowd, Joe Dumars. I've been to his house in Natchitoches, knew his dad, knew his mother, and I just have not been into the NBA, as you know, for a long time. So I've gotten interested in the Pistons again, and I'm actually watching them. The turnovers, number one, always concern me, right?
Absolutely.
And they are young. I have to remind you, they are a young team, and I keep thinking about them. Both of you all can, three of you could chime on this about what they need to do to really take themselves to the next level. I mean, they did a phenomenal thing, coming in first place and all of that, but they're still a few pieces away, if you ask me. I mean, they scrap and pull it out, but they still need some additional pieces.
Well, I think Sam addressed some of it by the lack of a true point guard.
That's agreed.
Point guard, another shooter. They missed Malik Beasley,
right?
Very much.
You guys spoke about Duran not doing his job.
Now Malik is the brother is that the one that got in trouble?
Yeah.
Hey. Why? Let's stop right there. Why have they not let this man play? And basically, there's nothing been proven
because NBA won't let him.
But why?
The league won't let him. There's still too much stuff going around him as far as speculation
that he cheated,
and they can't necessarily substantiate it yet or come out with it. But that's the reason they wouldn't let him back.
Okay.
Now, I understand that there were some proposed trades that the Pistons didn't go for because they wanted Cade to handle the ball more. They didn't. That's why they got rid of Schroeder in the first place.
And Hardaway.
Yeah.
So who wanted him to handle the ball, the coach or the upstairs?
The upstairs.
Oh.
And Cade.
Well, that's that.
And Cade.
Every time.
That may be showing you a deficiency.
I'm gonna tell you, the way he was shooting that 3-point ball, I would just have him run around and get open, toss him the ball. I mean, really. Anyway, I think you're right. He was tired. There's too much he has to do to make it all happen.
And he's not in condition.
Yeah. Okay. Because of what? Because he got hurt?
Yes, because of his lung.
He still had that lung issue.
That's right.
Not months ago.
That guy's playing over being out of shape.
Imagine him being in perfect health.
Yeah, it's mine. Remember, he hit the backboard the other day. That was because of he couldn't think because he was tired.
Right.
They were trying to take him out with 2 minutes to go, and they didn't get him out.
Right.
That would have never happened, and we might have been in a better situation.
Okay.
But he's still not a true point guard, so he has some learning to do.
So we all agree the Pistons going to win tomorrow.
Yep.
And then they are going to play New York. What are some of the things we need to be concerned about in that series?
I talked to the director of security for New York last night, a very good friend of mine, and he said New York, they're very concerned because they didn't beat the Pistons in the regular season, and they learned a lot from last year how physical Detroit is. So that's what they're preparing for.
Right. So you think they'll be one up now, or I mean, I don't think just because you beat them all year long. I mean, they had their way with Cleveland, didn't they?
They did. I think that would Detroit have the home court advantage against New York?
Yeah, because they got the home court advantage throughout because they have the best record in the league.
Until they get to the end, until they get to the finals. I thought OKC had a better record.
I thought they had the best record in the NBA.
In the East.
Okay,
In the East.
In the conference. Okay. All right, cool. All right, what else y'all want to talk about? I mean, the Tigers, do they have anybody left?
They're all hurt, man.
Yeah, Gates. I mean, Willie Horton called me this week. I grew up with him. And I was sent Willie. And by the way, Earl Wilson's son showed up in my church. Earl, I drove his triple white Mark III to my prom. I was his paper boy. He was my mentor, and I was just teasing all of them that maybe they need to find some of those folks to come back to help them.
They would love it. Hey, the Tigers only 5 games out of first place.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. They're in a bad division. They're going to get their players back. They had 17 players hurt.
17. How many of those were starters?
Many of them.
No. I don't want to hear that. You're supposed to be an expert. You're supposed to be able to tell me how many of the starters are missing.
They got 16 or 17 overall starters on this team that's been down.
16 or 17. Thank you.
Yeah, 17 players.
So that's why you're here, by the way.
Be the expert.
But the point I want to make, too, is they're going to get them back. They might be able to make a run, but their pitching is bad. Their bullpen pitching. So I'm not sure that they can really do much. Good thing they're in the poor division. It'll keep it exciting, keep people interested, but I don't know.
Well, we'll find out today because I think Mize returns to the pitching mound today. So you know what? You get us one of the starters back in your rotation. Let's see how this Tiger team ends up having to perform. Any boost that they can possibly get in this starting lineup is going to be beneficial for them.
Yeah. Sabrina, you have another question?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I want to know what you guys think about this last place team, the Lions, and if they have an easy schedule.
Last place team?
That's what it says. As a
In the
last
division.
place team.
Huh?
In the division, one game over 500. But yep, she's right.
Right.
Yeah,
last place team.
I love the Lions, and they're in last place. So they may have an easy schedule. How easy do you think it'll be for them
I
to
don't know
make
if it's
their way
that
on up
easy.
through
I don't think the
the
schedule's
playoffs?
that easy. I looked at it.
Yeah.
I mean, it appears that it may be.
I don't know if well, is it an easy?
They
I don't.
They got 6 or 7 playoff teams. And
Right.
That makes it difficult.
Yeah.
Teams are getting better that you're going to be saying, like Reggie and I were just talking.
That Giants game, that's a trap game right there. That Giants team is going to be very, very good.
Yeah. By the way, is it really something for us to be concerned about with Jamar Gibbs and his contract?
Yeah, I would be concerned. I think the Lions will pay him, but hey.
But
if they don't play
with
well-
what they paid some other folks, the speculation is now what they've been offering him is not going to work.
Yeah, well, they got to pay him to keep him because everybody wants him.
And we love him. Isn't that the Sonic and Knuckles or something? They have a Jamar Gibbs and there's another player.
Well,
But the
he
point
left.
is, so there we go. When
But
are we going to have?
We got it. We're putting the offense on his back. We got to pay him, keep him. But a running back can only, they usually their longevity is only.
They
about
don't have
5
3 to 5 years.
Yeah,
That's it.
You need some time.
3 to 5 years. By the way, did I ever tell you this? Wilhelmina Johnson was my father's secretary for 25 years. And part of my love of sports really was rooted in her. She had 2 phenomenal sons. One who played for Michigan, wore number 30.
Ron Johnson.
Yep. And Alex, his brother, who played for Cincinnati Reds. That was my dad's secretary.
Oh boy.
Can you imagine that? I wore number 30 at Saginaw Valley State. I love Ron Johnson. And until maybe a year or 2 ago, he had the most touchdowns record at Michigan at 5 in one game. Did you know that?
And he didn't make player of the week.
He had 5. He had 5. I think it was against Ohio State. One of the more recent players broke that record. But Ron, by the way, died with Alzheimer's in a nursing home in New Jersey in obscurity.
Yeah, that's when I
But
first
he was a
started
hell of a ball player, and his brother was as well.
Well, they had another ball player in the family that didn't get any recognition, but the 2 brothers would recognize him. That was Junior, Arthur Johnson Jr.
I didn't know that one.
Yeah, well, I knew the family very
Yeah,
well.
well, you knew Wilhelmina, the mother. Very
Yeah.
boisterous, very.
And
Let me tell you about Wilhelmina, by the way, and we get
That's
off
a
this
name.
subject. In my dad's archives, there is a speech from 1957 of Dr. King with my father's handwriting on it that was edited. And of course, it's in the collection in Boston University. That speech exists nowhere in Dr. King's collection. And when you look at OPIU at the bottom, which was the union and the number, and I went and compared it with other stuff, guess who typed that? Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Now, did you know that Alex Johnson is in the Guinness World Book of Records?
For what?
For the batting championship of the closest competition ever, him and Carl Yastrzemski.
Okay.
Our Alex had to go back. And I know it's more tales I can tell
Man,
you.
you my man. All right. Are we getting off track here? We talking about sports.
No, it's good. It's
I
good.
want to know
It's
how
good.
you professional sportscasters don't know any of this.
Hey, we do know about Ron Johnson. That's when I first started liking the
Man, I wore number 30 at Saginaw Valley State because of Ron Johnson.
Yeah.
At any rate, so we got a new team coming to town, right? Didn't they have an announcement? Is that the women's?
Yeah.
women's basketball.
Women's hockey.
Women's hockey. That's what I. Yeah.
Yeah, women's hockey.
Yeah. I tell you what, they'll have trouble getting dates.
Right. I don't want to see no women with no teeth. The hockey players. can't listen
They
to
go
our
out. They
teeth.
got the hockey stick. They let you know right up front. I ain't going for no mess.
I don't know. It's somebody
Playing
for
in Little
everybody. I don't know.
Caesars. They're gonna have 9 professional teams.
Wow.
And
In,
then-
in one arena.
Well, we talked
Wow.
about this before. I told you that I am chairing this expansion of the music hall, and they've asked me to come in, and I've connected them with folks. So we had a big meeting about all the folks downtown. There was a plan by way to cut off that exit that comes near 36th District Court. That's been cut off. But the big issue that all of them have is a lack of coordination with events and what happens with traffic. There are literally times that people spend an hour and a half stuck in traffic trying to get to these events. And so how do they better coordinate, I mean, I've gone down to some games and there've been 2 things happening, one at Comerica Park, one at Ford Field. It's crazy. I mean, I love the fact that we have that kind of activity downtown, But I really think there needs to be better traffic coordination.
You create the better flow, it creates better commerce.
Yeah,
So
we need our city planners on this, and I'm surprised it didn't happen before we put these entities
But it's
down there.
but it's beyond. That's not the issue. The issue, there's been a lack of coordination, and there's so many moving pieces with so many different leagues. I mean, the question I had is when MLB does its schedule, does it know what the NFL schedule? I mean, are there any conversations going on about how we schedule these? Because literally, I'm gonna tell you, I have people know I have a suite, right? So I have not been able to get in on 2 occasions because I was stuck in traffic for 2 hours, and I leave early.
You sure do.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just could not get. I said, forget it, take me home.
And Lord help us, it's been one concert downtown, because one at Ford Field and one at Motor City Casino, and then you got a game at Little Caesars. You will be waiting for an hour before you even get out of downtown.
I'm sure they say it's a good problem to have, but it's not for the consumer.
Well, I think the last couple of years, the issues that you had is that the Detroit Tigers have been in the playoffs, which coincided with the Lions having home games also.
Yeah, it's not just the playoffs. I think there, when you have a concert going on at LCA, you've got a concert going on at the Fox, all of these things happening at one time. And from what I heard in the conversation is nobody is willing to relinquish or say, I'm gonna do anything different because, this is a revenue generating enterprise and I have to do what's best in the interest of, in fact, the music hall has said they have suffered because people literally look and see that there's going to be a baseball game and a football game. Nah, I ain't coming to that concert.
Hey,
ain't going to be nowhere to park.
That's the issue. I think parking is a big issue when you have all those things.
They're
building buildings down there. They're taking up spaces.
Yeah.
I want
to spread out as it used to be.
And I want to add, I went to opening day and I decided to park at Hotel St. Regis and get on that queue line just to, avoid the parking situation downtown. But let me tell you, there was a accident in front of the queue line cart that had us stuck. I had to get off the queue line and walk a hot mile, and then I got on the scooter, and I was fine. But that's not for everybody.
You got on the scooter?
All right, so she got on the scooter. I'm surprised they didn't park. They didn't move whatever had her stuck. Because Sabrina Athena, all they do is see her walk here every Saturday, and the Red Sea would have parted.
I'm just saying.
We got 2 minutes left, fellas, and do our round table. What you want us to know, Mark?
Hey, the Pistons are going to win. They got the grit that we want. They show up like Detroit. They don't give up, and we're going to celebrate them going to the NBA Finals.
Sam?
Yeah, I agree with Mark. The Pistons are going to win. It's not going to be easy, but they're going to win, and then they're going to keep it going.
They're going to beat. Don't be so nefarious. Keep it going. They're going to beat New York.
They're going to beat New York.
And then they're going to get to the finals, and we'll wait to hear from you later about that.
Okay.
We'll put you on the hook today.
That'll work.
Come on, Reggie.
You know what? I'm curious to know whether it's a question of, does Detroit Pistons as a team, do they adopt the character of the city, or does the city adopt the character of the Detroit Pistons? Because when I look at this team, they're a lot like the Bad Boys, right?
Yeah.
They're a lot like those going to work Pistons, and that's like, how can these three teams be so similar as far as their
city? All right, I got to wrap up, but that sounds like
It's
a philological perspective you're trying to give us. Where'd you go to school? Cranbrook too?
No. They wouldn't have done that.
He went.
Go Cubs!
He went. My son went to you. He sounds like somebody that he went somewhere that got some, real knowledge and information. Thank you so much for being so prim and proper.
That's what reading comic books will do.
The question is, I'll get you to preach, man. The question this morning is, will you go to heaven or will you go to hell? We'll be right back after this.
Oh, man.
Hey, here's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up. Let the truth be told, the wake up call. Hey, it's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told, the wake up call.
This is Super Bowl champion Lomas Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Grover McCains, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your girl, Randy Rosario, comedian and TV host. I get my Saturday wake-up call with my guy, Reverend Horace Sheffield. Think about it. Good day.
I'm Sheriff Raphael Washington, Wayne County, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up every Saturday morning from Reverend Horace Sheffield, and you should too.
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Hello, everybody. This is your girl, Erica Alexander, and every Saturday morning, I get my wake-up call with Reverend Sheffield. Make sure you go on and get some of that. All right? What is that? Is that someone called? Is it Saturday?
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your man Mike Epps, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Sheffield. Make sure you get yours.
I'm Hester Wheeler, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
You've been listening to
Here's the wake-up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake-up call. It's the wake-up call.
All right, we're back in Live and Living Color. We got the Justice of the Michigan Supreme Court, Noah Hood here, but I want to make a quick announcement. You know, Brenda was our staff person here, and she's passed, and the family's having to Stop the Violence Dream Union 32nd Annual Love Party in memory of Pink Lady, which is Brenda Harris, Lukey Luciano, Redbird, Birthday Boy Ben, Big Head Q, Sheffield 3. No, I don't know. It's going to be Monday, May 25th at 10 a.m. Prayer breakfast at 12 noon. Basketball all on the corner of Dexter and Waverly to Dexter and Webb, which is where I grew up on Dexter and Collingwood. So I know you're all right with me, man. I heard the music playing. You were rocking. That's right. Yeah, there you go. I go a long way back with the Hood family, and my grandfather was a staunch supporter when your grandfather first ran for city council. That's right. And we manned the polls at Sampson, which is a school me and my dad both went to. So I know, Emory was my dear friend. We actually spent time together in New York. Yeah. And of course, what your grandfather and your father. By the way, I don't know if you know, and Ed will remember this, that Nick had the most popular band in high school called the Seven Sounds.
Yeah, Emory Hood.
No, it was Nick.
Yeah, but Emory
was Emory in the band too? Yeah. I didn't know Emory. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know Emory. I always remember Nick because
Well, we had them play at our prom. What you talking
about? They played everywhere, man. I mean, yeah. So anyway, so you have a lineage that is political, ecclesiastical, social. That's right. And you were appointed by the governor. Is that correct? That's correct. And now you have to run. That's right. So okay. I was appointed to a vacancy, and now I'm running to stay on. Yeah. So we're running to keep him there. That's right. So I mean, and tell people, by the way, how important the Supreme Court is.
It is vitally important in any regular year. It is, that importance is amplified in the times that we're living.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, if we look at, I was just sharing with my wife this morning that Clarence Thomas made the comment yesterday that for the first time in the history of America, the Supreme Court has upheld the Constitution, has returned America to its original moorings. I'm like, where is he coming from? And by the way, here's a guy, by the way, that got into school on affirmative action. We go on and was a radical. And at one point even toyed with being a member of the Black Panthers. But at any rate, the election, there's no primary, right?
That's right.
Okay, so it's November.
For Supreme Court,
Yeah.
we get nominated at the party convention, and then we are on the general ballot.
Yeah, so people need to know if you vote straight Democratic, you don't have to worry about voting for is that correct?
No. That's
Okay.
incorrect.
So the partisan piece, you have to vote separately.
And it's
nonpartisan piece.
That's right.
Okay.
It's complicated. It's hard to understand, but I'll put it like this. If you vote straight party ticket, it will not cover your judges or justices.
Okay, all right. So excuse me for that. I should know that much as I vote. Yeah.
Here's the way to remember.
Okay.
Say, vote justice first.
Okay.
Flip the ballot over and start with the nonpartisan section. Because you're not going to forget the other side, but you might forget to
Vote justices first.
That's right.
Make sure there's no error on Noah. You know, Noah Hood.
Right.
Sabrina,
Absolutely. I'm so.
that's your favorite word. You got to find another word.
I'll work with
Yeah, we
another
come
word.
back. Absolutely.
Well,
Is
hey,
Horace
no,
handsome? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Does Gerald have a full head of hair? Absolutely.
Should you vote for Noah Hood?
Absolutely, my man.
There you go. And I think it comes in because I'm paying attention to the conversation, and I'm always so impressed by the history that you always bring forth and the people that he knows that he went to school with and everything. And so by being the millennial on the panel here, I'm more interested.
Well, let me just say real quick,
asking you
real quickly. Let me tell you what I did not tell you, which is probably even more important, is that at the old church, every Sunday there was a youth group. Have you heard about this, Reverend Miller?
Yes.
And he drove a Porsche, and all of the young people that I grew up with whom I had long-lasting relationships, would gather in that basement of that church, and we talk about the war, we talk about everything, man. It was the place to be. It really was. And I just want to put that in, and I was a part of that youth group at the old church before the new church was built. Go ahead.
Big movement starts in small rooms.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, Sylvia Allen, to this day, she got killed in an accident in our 12th grade, and that just had a ripple effect across the whole group, you know, and you know, I still think about her, but she was a part of that group, and that group really retained some cohesiveness throughout those years. Debbie Ford, Anita Ford, I can mention all the people who were part of that. Go ahead.
Thank you. So for the layman in the crew, who exactly is Justice Noah Hood, and why do you seek to retain this position?
Absolutely. I appreciate that question. Again, my name is Noah Hood. I'm the newest justice in the Michigan Supreme Court. I'm a proud Detroit native, proud graduate of Cass Technical High School, Yale College, Harvard Law School. I am, thank you.
Yeah, come on, that's worth the paying praise, education.
I am running to stay on the court for the same reason that I put my name in when the vacancy came up, which is there are a few people in this state that have the background and breadth of experience that I bring to the court, right? I've seen our legal system from every angle. As a federal prosecutor, as a trial judge on Wayne County Circuit Court back at Frank Murphy, as an intermediate appellate judge on the Michigan Court of Appeals, and now for the past year on the Michigan Supreme Court. And the example I give, right, we had some talk beforehand about reform, like criminal justice reform. One of the hot button issues has been juvenile lifer resentencings. I am one of the only people in the country that has the experience of having represented a juvenile lifer as a defense attorney, having resentenced them as a trial judge, having corrected their sentences on our Court of Appeals, and now interpreting what our Constitution, our state Constitution, says about the validity and legality of those sentences. There's not many other people in this state or in this country that bring that experience. That's why I'm running the state.
Quickly, how old are you?
I'm 39.
39. You look a lot younger than. And I'm just really, and I won't say it anymore. I'm just really. If I close my eyes, you sound just like your dad.
Well, if I came out sounding like Denzel,
yeah.
Well,
I mean, you know, your dad. You know, my kids grew up in that church. You know, my children's mother I met her at 18. She was a member of that church. So, you know, I have a great love for Plymouth. I have a great love for the Hood family. I think people too often don't understand the sacrifice that people make to serve the public, you know.
Yeah.
And in this era where, you know, people are absolutely crazy, you know, to even espouse what you've said and then want to be in a position to bring it to pass probably opens you up to some scrutiny and some folks that may think that, you know, I mean, now they have their whole society and philosophy that they don't mind, you know, bringing to the bench, but they don't want you to have that.
Right. And, you know, that static is always going to be there.
Yeah.
And that's why it's important to just play straight.
There you
every
go.
Single time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna challenge you because not only we want you to win this election, all right, but I'm gonna challenge you to have the accomplishments that another cast technician had, and that's to be the Chief Justice of the Michigan Supreme Court.
You're talking about Conrad Mallard.
Yeah,
Right.
another one of my classmates.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're looking for great things from you, young man. I'm gonna say it like that. You are young to me.
But let me just tell you now, this is a situation. A lot of times can't bring candidates here, and they're in a district or they're in Detroit or whatever. This is something that you can help facilitate because if you live in the state of Michigan, you can vote for this brother here.
Yeah.
And he gave us the clarion call. I wrote it down. What did I put it? Vote justices first?
Yep. Vote justice.
Vote justices
Vote
first.
justices first.
Right.
You got a question, Ed?
Yeah.
Since you prophesied on him, you know, but go ahead.
Okay. And I understand your background, but what made you is just the quest to do better in the legal.
By the way, you know
aspect?
his mother is an outstanding federal judge,
Yeah.
Denise Page Hood, right?
That's right.
Is she retired or no?
She is on senior status.
Senior status,
so
okay.
It's
Okay.
not exactly retired.
Yeah, I understand how that
fewer
works.
cases.
Yeah. Mhm.
Well, then that kind of answers my question because you come from a family of legal.
Both sides of the law,
Right.
divine law.
Now,
Thank
you
you for
say
that
both,
clarification.
you got to be careful on that one because both sides of the law could mean something else.
Well, I'm sure I will wager a bet, having known the family, that he probably figures that the higher law takes precedence over the lower law and probably tries to find ways for the lower law to conform. Maybe is that a stance or no? Because we don't. By the way, stare decisis and all that precedent stuff, we can forget about that now because the Supreme Court has proven that ain't the case.
Let me put it like this, right? In my experience, almost every single case is decided on one thing.
Right.
And that's the fact.
The facts, right. Right.
I heard a long time ago, they said, salt the facts, the law will keep.
Right.
Normally, if you can sort out what the facts are, what are our high confidence facts? What do we know for sure? What do we think probably happened? And what don't we know?
Mm-hmm.
The rest of it falls into place.
Yeah, you know, I had 2 years of law school if I went to Union Seminary.
Okay.
My dad didn't want me to be a lawyer. My grandfather wanted me to be a lawyer. I had to fulfill everyone's ambitions, you know. And I still remember, and I use it, man, even in terms of biblical interpretation, which I have, you know, several biblical degrees. But that legal analysis, which was IRAC, an issue, rule, application, conclusion. What is the issue in this text? What are they addressing? You know, what is the religious rule? What is the social context? Anyway, I just want to make sure that people understand, and help me with this, that people do bring to the bench their personal experiences, right? Their worldview to some degree. It ought not to be governing, but it also ought to help us better inform ourselves. You think so?
That's right. But I would counter by saying when we bring those experiences,
Mhm.
we also bring schemas. We bring a preset of what we think happened.
Right.
The example, you know, New York police, they used to have a training where they would have 2 white cops, 2 white recruits stand up, and they would point finger guns at 2 black recruits. And they would say, "What do you see?" So, "Well, we see an arrest." And then they would have them switch and have 2 black recruits point finger guns at 2.
What did they
white
see
recruits.
then?
And everyone would start laughing because they all knew what they thought they saw.
Right.
They had a schema for seeing that as robbery.
Right.
They see the white cops making arrests, the black cops doing robbery.
Yeah.
But they're all cops.
Yeah.
Part of what I view my job as a judge is to deconstruct whatever schema I have.
Yeah.
To make sure that I'm getting to the facts.
Yeah. See, that's the textual analysis that Hope Bible, is applied to the Bible as well. Is that that how I read ought to affect where I sit, right? You know, so it's important. I mean, I like this conversation, man, because and I like the fact that you're clarifying this, because I think it helps people understand even more so why a person like you needs to be back on the Supreme Court. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever.
Good day. How about good day?
Your grandmother was my counselor at Jefferson Junior High School.
Okay.
Dr. Hood? Yep.
And
Elizabeth, right?
Elizabeth Hood.
Yeah.
Yes, my question is, with the redistricting that's going on around the country, what do you plan to do or help us in Michigan? Because in this area, for years we had Black representation. Now we do not. And also with the criminal justice system, 3 times they throw the book at you. Even when you've done minor, stole tobacco, chips or whatever, and this is your 3rd offense, they want to give you 10 to 20 years in prison. We need to have.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
You said we don't have Black representation, but that's not a product of redistricting. That's a product of people not
voting.
I mean, we have 2 majority Black congressional districts, but don't have a Black congressperson because 5 and 6 people run at one time.
Yeah, that's true.
TULC used to correct that.
Yeah, but go ahead, sir.
Yeah.
Well,
thank you for the questions.
Thank you for referencing my grandmother's legacy.
Yeah.
It's always,
She was a principal at McKinsey.
That's right.
Yeah. Huh? That's where you were at.
Well, because she was at a few different
schools. Yeah, she was school, but the last school she was at was McKinsey, if I'm not mistaken,
right.
because that's where I worked with her at. Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to give a little bit of an unsatisfying answer and then dovetail into something that I think will be more substantive. As a judicial candidate, I can't give you a policy platform. I can't come up here and say, I'm going to decide these cases this way. What I can say is I've got a body of work that's already out there, including dealing with election law, decisions that I've already authored at the Court of Appeals and now at the Supreme Court that let you know how I think about the cases that show up in front of me. The question you asked about redistricting, though, implicates a bigger issue, right? Which is what happens when what we're doing in Michigan may be something different than what the U.S. Supreme Court is doing. And for years, the Michigan, people forget, we have a state constitution, right? You got the federal constitution, and then you've got your Michigan state constitution. For years, the Michigan Supreme Court has interpreted those 2 things as being in lockstep, right? At some point, we're going to at least have to ask the question, as the U.S. Supreme Court gets more and more extreme, starts whittling away rights that we have long treasured, are those 2 constitutions still in lockstep? Or do we begin to interpret our Constitution on its own terms? Say, these are rights that Michiganders hold dear that the U.S. Supreme Court cannot carve away. That is a question that we are going to have to ask. Yeah. And as a justice in the Michigan Supreme Court, that's a question I'm willing to ask.
So the process that we have in place where it's, there's a commission and it's supposedly taking it away from the purely partisan deliberation and decisions. Do you think that has worked? And do you think that can stay in place?
So we're now dipping our toes in a partisan.
Okay, all right. What's the other?
No. I mean, big picture, what I'll say is you can't have a system where 2 sides are playing with 2 different sets of rules.
Right.
Right. And the path that we're down, I don't think that this is that controversial. The path that we're down is making less competitive seats across the country, which means people that are in elected office are held less accountable, right? As judges, we don't have that luxury, and it's a good thing we don't have that luxury. We had to look the public in the eye. Yeah. When I pronounce sentence, I got to sit there and look at the person that I'm sentencing. At least when I was a trial judge. For representative office, legislature, you get further and further detached from the people. And in my view, as a small D Democrat, that's a bad thing.
Yeah, I appreciate
I got a question for you.
Okay, hold on. Let's get Cedric.
Excuse me. First of all, my name is Cedric.
Who you telling? Excuse me. You telling him to be quiet? Go ahead. All right.
God bless him. God bless him
But
over there.
don't forget, you got to get out of here, though.
Yeah. My name is Cedric Tooks, and first of all, I want to thank you for representing 3 sittings, juvenile 17, 18, 19, and 20. And then I want to ask you a question on the 21s. But we have an organization called Return. We helping returning citizens, and it's Integrate 313. And our number one thing is to help them with jobs, resource, housing, things that nature to get back off their foot after they being resentenced. I was resentenced and discharged because once again I'm innocent. But I want to ask you, you considering you said something about prison reform.
Yes.
And do the Supreme Court. If it wasn't for a Michigan Supreme Court, I wouldn't be here today. I'd still be in prison, probably dead. But I'm going to ask you, what is your goal so far as to continue with prison reform and juveniles 21?
Again, I'm going to give you a little bit of an unsatisfying answer, right? Because those cases are still trickling up. And I want to make sure that when they do come in front of me, I don't have to disqualify myself.
Right.
My goal on those cases, in every case, is to do justice. And we now have a broader view of what that encompasses. Look, so as I said, I represented a juvenile lifer. This is in the gap between Miller and Montgomery.
Okay.
Right? Miller is the one that said it was illegal. Montgomery is the one that said it's retroactive.
Truly.
Right? People forget how hard those 4 years were. Right? For a lot of people that were sitting, waiting for what we knew was inevitable.
You're looking at one right
Right?
here. Yes,
Right?
sir.
As a trial judge, I did, I didn't do a lot, but I did 3 juvenile lifer sentences.
Yes, sir.
Right? And they're each hard, right? Because it's hard for someone that committed a crime 40 years ago to now look at that person and say, look, you did this horrible thing when you were 16, 17.
Yes, sir.
But now I'm looking at a 65-year-old man who is completely different.
Amen.
Right? And at the same time, I'm looking at the person. I'm looking at the victim, the daughter or the wife or the survivors,
Truly.
whoever, love that person that was murdered.
Amen.
You got to balance and hold those two things. It's hard.
I
And
know.
I think again, it's going to be an unsatisfying answer. I can't tell you I'm going to decide this way, but what
Yes,
I can
sir.
tell you is I grapple with these things. Every
Well, I
single
mean, what you can tell him is, if he's heard you, is that you've already represented someone in that situation. So you have a broad view, a setting in life that informs that. So, you have another question? Because I gotta.
I want to invite you.
Don't take half my show now. Go
I
ahead.
want to invite you to our organization. And due to the fact I want to support you too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you
thank
need
Mr.
his
Sheffield.
support because everywhere he goes, he's heard.
Amen.
You
Thank
make
you
sure
so
of it. He's a member of my church too, by the way, and he's on my security team, believe it or not. And Cedric, I think, has exemplified what a person does with their life, having gone through what he's gone through. I mean, he gives a lot of himself all the time. Let's give Cedric a hand. Yeah,
Very true.
All right, Sabrina.
So I think about 2 months ago, I decided to start binge watching The Good Fight. And it must have prepared me for today seriously, I just finished it like the other week. This painting of your family tree is quite impressive. And I'm thinking to myself, where are your cousins that's not a lawyer? What kind of shoes do you feel like you have to fill if you feel like you need to, take a certain level of place or certain level of accomplishment? Like, what is that like growing up in a family like that?
Well, I don't have anything else to compare it to. I will say that it makes you think differently about your individual legacy. And let me give an example, right? So when I first started practicing, it was in Detroit. I was working at a firm, and every time I would show up, they would say, "Are you Denise Hood's son? Are you Nicholas Hood's son?"
Yeah.
And that's great, but it's also a little bit of a burden.
Right.
Right? And so in 2014, I started working at the U.S. Attorney's Office in Toledo. And that was not necessarily intentional. There was a hiring freeze, so there was only a few offices that were hiring. But the nice thing about that was I was practicing in a place where nobody knew about Nicholas Hood Sr. or Nicholas Hood III or Denise Hood, right? And I had to make my mark on my own. And by the time I left, I had made that mark. And Toledo was one of the best. Thank you.
Yes.
Toledo was one of the best experiences for me because I got to try more complicated cases faster. Small office. So not only was I trying, fraud, public corruption, and money laundering, but I also had to work firearms cases. I had to work crimes against children. I had to work criminal immigration, right? Which informs some of the work that I'm now doing on our state's highest court. And I did that outside of the shadow makes it sound strong, but outside of my family's legacy, so that I can build a name for myself on my own terms.
Yeah, we're the only folks though. I mean, I'll say the same thing about me. I went to New York to basically figure out who I was independent of that. And it was a wonderful thing to do. What you did was a smart move. But we're the only folk that treat that as if it's a liability and not an asset.
No, that's fair.
I mean, George W. Bush, had to walk into a church and meet Jesus before he got off drugs. And nobody questioned who he was in light of who his parents were. Right. Here's the differential for me, right? And I said this to my daughter all her life because she also, has that legacy is that, that opens doors. But who you are and what you do is what will determine whether or not you have success.
That's right. And she's done.
And you have as well. So, I mean, it's not like you're living off, the hoods. I mean, that has given you an advantage that you have honored and respected and utilized it not for personal gain here, right? But to further serve the very community from which his family has come, right? Is that a fair assessment?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And we ought to honor that. I mean, we ought to honor that because I know tons of folks. We had a whole group of us. I know Thurgood Marshall III. I've been very close to the King family. Yolanda and I, we're in business together. And I know a whole lot of folks who were children of prominent, successful parents, the pressure of which was so great that it destroyed them. And I think the difference for you, I don't know about, for me, hopefully for you as well, is that I was raised in an environment my parents didn't expect me to be who they were or do what they did. And it was so funny because I told my kids the same thing about this. I only want three things for you. One, don't go to jail. Two, don't be on drugs and alcohol. And three, be able to pay your own bills. That's all I want.
And it's a unique situation.
Yeah. And I thought, that's not much. But when you get old, you realize paying your own bill. Ed?
Yeah, no. And you've already mentioned in your history, you've been on the appellate court.
Yes, sir.
And you've been attorneys on both sides prosecuting. And
yeah.
How hard is it going to be? Because cases are being taken to the Supreme Court all the time.
Right.
How hard is it going to be to recuse yourself from a case?
Hold on. You got a question, young man?
That you would
what's
be,
his question? Okay, go ahead.
That you would be familiar with, and it gets to this level to be into the Supreme Court. What kind of factors,
hold on. We're gonna get to you.
What kind of factors do you have to put in there?
Yeah, the short answer is we got a pretty simple framework. If I was on the Court of Appeals panel, then I can't be on that case on the Supreme Court. If I was the trial judge, I can't be on that case on the Supreme Court. And so there's flags to make sure that we know there's a recusal issue and I'm not on.
Okay, and so if you were an attorney, but you would be represented up to that level.
Right. At this point, the cases that I work as a prosecutor or a defense attorney, they're so old that the chances of it coming up to the Supreme Court now.
But if it did, he would recuse himself. Here's what we want to do. We'll make certain that everybody's listening. We're a 50,000 watt station. We go as far as Flint, and you need to vote justices first. And in that pantheon of legal experts and folks, there's an incumbent named Noah Hood. You need to make certain that he's one of the first that you vote for when you vote justices first, right?
That's right.
That's why he's here. And get your commercials together and all that. We can run them here for you. I'm gonna do it pro bono. Yeah, how about that? You ain't got to pay me.
And I'm running alongside Chief Justice Kavanaugh.
There you go. Yes.
There we go. Yes. We are the two incumbents running to stay on the two seats that are.
And you asked her about my role in getting Supreme Court justices elected. I actually did it for the party at one point. They would pay me to do that. Yes, sir. You got 30 seconds and hold the mic up.
I was just wondering, the way today's society is, everybody needs Social Security.
Right.
Because, they said to me that I'm not schizophrenic. I'm just paranoid. And, it's just like I was watching TV or somewhere, and they said something about, it was a ship. He said, I was somewhere.
Let's do this, because I've only got a minute left, but it's a good thing for him to talk about, because a lot of those disability cases come to the Supreme Court, do they not?
That's right.
Right.
And what you're getting at is an access to justice issue.
Right.
Which is, how can you press your issue if maybe you can't afford a lawyer, right? How can we as the Michigan Supreme Court set up self-service stations, set up better court forms for you to press your case on your own? If that's something that you want to do, I can tell you that we're working on that. Through the State Court Administrative Office, we are simplifying our forms. We are making better self-service programs so that people can push their
So we have 1 minute left. You're in the pulpit at Plymouth Congregational Church. You have the congregation available wanting to hear from you. Convince everybody who hears the sound of your voice why they should vote for you.
Let me tell you why this case is important. Again, my name is Noah Hood. I'm the newest justice on the Michigan Supreme Court. And this race will affect you more than any other race on the ballot right now, right? One thing that I have not broadcasted around, my youngest son is very sick, and I know we got people of faith in the room. I would ask you to pray for him, but I say this to illustrate a point, all right? Because in the past 7 months, he's gone from being on a nasal cannula to being on high flow oxygen, CPAP, BiPAP, to eventually a tracheostomy and a ventilator, all right?
Bless him.
And God has spared him every day since August 10th, right? And I say that not to get sympathy. I say that to illustrate a point, because 4 years ago, I was on a case called CB versus Livingston County Community Mental Health. That case involved a mom who was suing on behalf of her son.
I got 15 seconds.
Yep. The point is, I decided that case the right way, having no idea how it would.
Yeah, the real point is that you have empathy.
Yeah.
You have empathy. You've lived experience. You understand the people who come before you and the life and death matters that you have to decide.
We need people that can do the right thing when no one is looking.
Yeah.
When everybody's
there you go. All right, we'll be right back at Noah Hood for Supreme Court.
You've been listening to
Here's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call. It's the wake up call.
This is Super Bowl champion Lomas Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Groveland, Kansas, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 AM, the wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your girl, Randy Rosario, comedian and TV host. I get my Saturday wake-up call with my guy, Reverend Horace Sheffield. Think about it. Good day.
I'm Sheriff Raphael Washington, Wayne County, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up every Saturday morning from Reverend Horace Sheffield, and you should too.
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 AM, the wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Hello, everybody. This is your girl, Erica Alexander, and every Saturday morning, I get my wake-up call with Reverend Sheffield. Make sure you go on and get some of that. All right? What is that? Is that someone called? Is it Saturday?
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 AM, the wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
This is Super Bowl champion Lomas Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Groveland, Kansas, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 AM, the wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
You've been listening to
truth be told, the wake up call.
Hey, y'all go there. It's going down in the Motown over here. All y'all gonna have to start getting up and dancing. We're not gonna feed you to your dance. There you go. All right. Great interview with Supreme Court Justice Noah Hood. We're gonna push him and make sure he stays there. You can just tell from his presentation the passion and compassion that he has. And, you know, we got to keep him there. Young man has done well for himself. And I got one. Thank you, sir. But now we're going to turn to somebody that I know and respect, Yolanda Roundtree. Hello, Yolanda.
Hi.
Move up a little closer. Turn that chair all the way up. Come all the way up to there you go. And I'll get it out right now. Her husband is Lynn Roundtree, a well-accomplished, internationally known trumpeter. I met them on the Smooth Jazz Cruise. Yeah. I signed up for 2 more, by the way.
I'm pretty sure you
I'm
did.
going to the one in February 2027, but in September, I'm going on the R&B one.
Oh, okay. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it leaves out of California, goes up to Vancouver and Peeble, Bryson, and all those on there. So, how long have you guys done those? Or was that your first one?
That was his first time on the Smooth Jazz Cruise.
Okay.
But we've done Dave Coss Cruise before. We've done 3 weeks with him. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. The whole time is nothing but music.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never got off the ship. I mean, just music, you know. And even music was in my shower. No.
TMI.
Yeah, so you're a native Detroiter. You met your husband down at was it Alabama State or?
No. I actually met him here in Detroit.
Okay.
Yeah, he went to Florida A&M.
Florida A&M. He was there with Kwame, in fact,
Yeah,
right?
he was.
Yeah.
He was. A lot of people actually graduated with his class.
Okay,
so,
good.
Yeah.
So tell us what you're doing.
Yeah, so again, I'm Yolanda Roundtree. I have a foundation or a nonprofit called El Olam Cares, and I host a 2-day dance, mime, and music intensive every year. This is year 13 at Huntington Place. And what we do is we basically dance and sing and worship literally all day. Our participants starts from the age of 5. We've had some younger, and they go all the way up into 75. And they're taking dance classes.
What is the age they started again?
5.
5, okay.
Yeah. I've had some younger ones, just so you know. They'll see
So
dance.
we just started a dance ministry. Crystal, our social's running for state rep. Her daughter's taking, and I'm going to make sure we enroll her. I know at one point you weren't sure whether or not this was going to happen.
Yeah.
So some things, prayer, you said victory is mine, miracles happen. Tell me how it happened.
Well, I will say that we always need resources because we do want to make sure at some point this is going to be a free event for everyone. But unfortunately, we're not there yet. And so we are always looking for, donations, sponsorships, grants, or whatever, so that we can continue to do it. But victory is mine. I do have to walk into faith every single day that we do stuff like this for the community. Because a lot of us cannot afford to attend things like this.
Yeah.
We have.
Yeah. Well, you got gas money to take it on.
Oh, let's not talk about gas money. That's a whole nother story.
Yep.
Yeah, but I will say,
How much is it?
So are you talking about for like a registrant?
Yes.
Yeah, so for a registrant, it is $175 a
Okay.
person.
Okay.
So every year we do try to give away at least 50 scholarships. That's minimum. So that people can attend. We have facilitators from New York, like from Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater, Freddie Moore. He's been with us for 10 years. We have national recording artist Isaac Tarver on the gospel side teaching our music classes. And so what we try to do is try to create an environment where people who not necessarily would have access to will be able to come and take classes.
So let's do this before they ask questions. How do people contact you and register? I'm going to, out of my own pocket, sponsor 10.
Amen.
Yeah. I'll give you the check this week. Right. I'm gonna sponsor 10. And they won't be from my church. I'll have my church pay for theirs.
Amen.
But I'm gonna sponsor personally 10. I know that, you know, we've talked and met, and I know the passion you have for this and the burden you had about making certain that it would still happen. And I'm just glad to know that you are walking by faith and making certain that there's no interruption in what you're doing.
Yes.
So how do people contact you and donate or sign up?
Yeah, so the best way is just to email us right now. And I'm going to spell it just so you all know I am a faith driven person. El Olam means God of everlasting. So whenever you see EL, that means God. And so it's El Olam, Center for Dance and Arts, or El Olam Cares. So El Olam Cares is our nonprofit. It's spelled EL space OLAMCARES. And you can reach us by email. You can reach us at eocares, CARES, at lolamcares.org. You can reach us on Facebook, El Olam Dance, and that's probably easier for everyone, on Instagram or even TikTok. So ELOLDANCE.
So one last question. So how long are the sessions? How long do they last?
Oh my gosh, they're there all day.
Okay.
They
but
started
for a week or 2 weeks or?
Yeah, so the intensive that's coming up June 19th and 20th, that is for 2 days.
Okay.
And so that's Friday and Saturday starting at 6:30 a.m. and they're done at about 11 o'clock at night.
Wow.
Yeah, so they
all
get a
you
lot.
parents want to get some time to yourself.
I tell them all the time, drop your kids off, give them money for lunch, and they will be fine.
Yeah. In fact, y'all stay downtown at the Pontchartrain and send them across the street.
That's right. How about that's our host hotel? So
Yeah.
we have room blocks. So if you want
Yeah.
to stay at the Pontchartrain, you can look up El Olam Dance and you can get a room there.
How
too.
about that? Sabrina?
Yes. So I'm gonna take this back a few steps because I'm brand new to El Olam. So I want to know more about what the focus of El Olam Cares is and how did you come to start this organization?
Yes. So the focus is we try to provide resources for technically anyone. So youth, teens, young adults to be able to have access to the arts, whether it's dance or music, either free or at a reduced rate, right? That's our goal, our 100% goal. It started when I started the intensive, which I started that in 2013. So this is going on our 13th year. We had to take a year off because of the pandemic. And every year people will come up to me, I want to come, but I don't have the money. And so we was like, okay, we need to raise money so that everyone can have access to this. And so El Olam Cares was formed in 2015. And what we started doing was getting sponsorships, getting grants so that we can allow people who wanted to be a part of this to be able to attend. So what I do with this process, it doesn't even start with just the intensive. We start a year early. So in September, the year prior, we have technique classes on Mondays for youth and teens, Wednesdays for adults. And then in January, we start choreography. So I start working on choreography that they're going to actually dance on Friday night service of the intensive.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah, well, that kind of answered my question because just hearing this initially, I'm thinking it's just 2 days and that's it. And I know I'm not the only one that heard that.
Well, and now that you know it's more than 2 days, are you signing up to go down to dance?
You can come sing.
I'm too old to that. If I go down there and see some kids dancing, you know they'll put me in jail. I need Noah Hood to get me out.
Let me tell you, when I say we have all ages.
No, but an old man and don't have a wife, I'm not supposed to be looking at nobody's kids. I don't care.
Now hold up a second. Wait just a second.
Just so you know, Freddie Moore, who's from Ailey, he actually teaches a class for men.
He teaches the class.
Yes.
He's a teacher.
He's a teacher.
I'm a spectator.
You can still
Listen. You remember Mr. Green Jeans and Captain Kangaroo?
I hear you.
Okay, so just go down and you can take the place of the dancing bear.
Man, look here. In today's news.
How many of y'all remember the dancing bear? There you go. We got a job for you.
Look
Ed.
at, in today's news, they always talk about Epstein. Now, see, so
Man, let's the whole. Hey, Ed. That's come on. That's it. I mean, really, yeah.
Now, and you mentioned representatives from Alvanale.
Yes.
So, what are the kind of notables or people you have helping to facilitate your program?
Yeah, so we always have like Isaac Tarver. He is a national recording artist, gospel artist. His father, Phil Tarver. I don't know if you all remember a group called Shekinah Glory. this song called Yes, that was 20 minutes, and every church did all 20 minutes. He's there. He's always there with his son. He's actually our spiritual covering over El Olam. And then I have Hope Boyd, who is an educator as well, but she's also a dancer. So she comes in from Florida to teach from the New Jersey Performing Arts Center. So I have people from all over coming in to teach.
Yeah, I think it's noteworthy to suggest that this was top shelf stuff. This is not, some little church that decided to pull together some folks and teach them how to, do a little dance on Sunday. This is a professional outfit. Her and her husband are well connected to the most outstanding musical geniuses and performers across the world. And so this is world class in the city of Detroit, providing opportunities for people to be trained in ways that they can carry with them for a lifetime.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Did
I say it right?
You said it exactly right. And I would say this, like, the best part for me, I've been doing this for a very long time. I'm technically trained. I've danced at many schools. I've danced my entire life. And one thing that we always try to do is bring that technique in because that's a discipline.
Let me take a break, but I want you to teach me how to dance with my father again. We'll be right back after this.
You've been listening to
Here's the wake-up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake-up call.
This is Super Bowl champion Lomas Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Grover in Kansas, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your girl, Randy Rosario, comedian and TV host. I get my Saturday wake-up call with my guy, Reverend Horace Sheffield. Think about it. Good day.
I'm Sheriff Raphael Washington, Wayne County, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up every Saturday morning from Reverend Horace Sheffield, and you should too.
Every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Hello, everybody. This is your girl, Erica Alexander, and every Saturday morning, I get my wake-up call with Reverend Sheffield. Make sure you go on and get some of that. All right? What is that? Is that someone called? Is it Saturday?
Every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your man Mike Epps, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Sheffield. Make sure you get yours.
I'm Hester Wheeler, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
This is Super Bowl champion Lomas Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Grover in Kansas, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
You've been listening to
Here's the wake-up call.
Ooh, ooh, with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Right on.
Wake up.
Hey.
Let the truth be told. The
All
wake-up
right.
call.
Come on, y'all, get with it. I said, y'all make some noise up in here. Where my dancers at? Come on, y'all. Yeah. I like that. I think I know that guy. Oh, y'all got me hyped now. That gonna make me come out of my James Brown bag. Ain't he funky now? All right, this is a great program. I don't want to not suggest if you're listening or you're here. I committed to 10 people, and I just text some folks. I'm gonna get my church to commit to some. If you're listening, you look at TV and you curse those kids downtown, and you got so much to say about the folks in church. They ain't the way they used to be. You need to sponsor a kid. It's $175 per kid.
Yes.
One child, $175. You need to, get that money together. Go to her website. By the way, if you missed any of this, you can call, you have a number to call?
Yes, you can call 248-599-2239.
One more time.
248-599-2239.
Okay, and then, get some money together. Chuck, you're a deacon in my church, right? Find $50. And then get somebody to get $125 so you sponsor one child. And remind me tomorrow to tell my folks, we need to make the world a better place. This is how you do it. Let them teach kids how to dance in their darkness.
Exactly.
Yep. Go ahead, Sabrina. And Sabrina, you need to give some money. Much dancing you do over here among us.
Sabrina need a client.
You need to put.
Somebody need to give me some money.
Next time you walk, you need to have them throw some money at you.
No, we're not gonna do it like that. But I do
I'm
want
just
to
saying.
know.
We can raise some money, right? I'm not talking about like that kind of dance. I'm just saying when you walk down the aisle, make people say, "Here's $25. Here's $25."
I'm so happy I'm here.
That's seven. That's 7 people with $25.
Absolutely,
Right.
absolutely. And I'm a fashion professional. They kind of look at it like we sleep it under the rug, but fashion is very important, and that is actually a runway walk that I do.
That's what I said. Runway. I didn't say it was a perp walk, a runway walk. I didn't know. It was. Somebody told me it was a catwalk, but since you say it's a runway walk,
It is. Okay, so but what you're doing
and
is so
by the way,
important.
I'm crazy today. I'm gonna say this. Be done. Ed. I told Ed because Ed kept saying, "Here, kitty." But go ahead.
So what you're doing is so super important because I remember even as a young person really liking watching the modern dance and wishing that I could take basketball practice and throw it away and go dance. But that access, that resource, the running back of resources for these kind of programs is what make this intensive and your program very, pertinent in a time such as this. I want to know some more about the stories of your students. Like, we talk about getting money, how have they benefited? Have they gone on to have careers or teaching? Tell us some more about that.
Yeah, so I have a host of kids. I've been doing this for a very long time. Some of them are in their doctorate program. Some of them are in their master's program.
MFAs.
Yes.
Okay.
And so it's just amazing to watch. I tell this story all the time. After the pandemic, I don't even know how this group this sister got her and her sister's scholarships last year, or not last year, but a couple of years ago. It's like 22 or 21. And I remember at the end of the night, her sisters came up to me and I just hugged them. And I was like, "You're beautiful. You're amazing. God loves you." And I was just speaking life into them. The next day, her sister texted me and she was like, "I've been trying to get custody of my sisters. Our mother's on drugs. And my sisters said to me that was the first time that they ever felt loved." So this is why I do it. I do it because I want every child out there to feel loved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember as a kid, like dance is what I feel like that's what saved me. I've danced my entire life. And
That
if it wasn't,
movement, that expression, it's
Yeah.
nothing like it.
and it's nothing like when you have people who truly care about you.
Yeah. So small groups. All the research reveals that changes lives.
Yeah.
And so, what you're doing is really edification, right? I mean, I still remember, and by the way, I had a lot of love in my house. My grandparents. I mean, extended family. I mean, there was no question about us being loved. Even when they beat the heck out of us, they said they loved us. But anyway, but there were people that were part of extracurricular activity that we were involved in that weren't just doing it because they were trying to earn income. They really were trying to mold and fashion character and change lives, and I never will forget some of those people. I was with Sharon Sexton yesterday, one of my classmates from Cass.
Yeah.
Didn't know she went to Roosevelt. I was at Roosevelt. That's where I started in
She's
19.
always been a quiet person.
But she's very knowledgeable about history. But
Right.
we started talking about teachers, and it was amazing because the teachers that I brought up were the same ones that she had impact from, right?
Yeah.
That just Mr. Roundtree, by the way, which I mentioned to you, who was a Tuskegee Airman, my history teacher. I got a degree in history, so what you're doing is so important. And you never know in that cadre and cachet of kids that come to you what they're going through, what they're missing, and what they need.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a ministry.
It is a ministry.
Yeah.
And even if it's like in the secular world, you know what I mean? Because the technique that they're learning over the weekend and over the year is technique. It's, it's ballet and modern and jazz and contemporary, right? But it's a discipline. But I feel like when a teacher shows love and compassion to just one child, it can
Right.
make a huge difference.
Yeah. Well, it's yeah,
She got me about to cry. I'm like,
sorry.
no, but that's the point. The ministry is inside of you. You have to be called to do things this way versus having some idea of gain. The gain is in the response from the kids.
Exactly.
So one of the passages that I love more than any, and whatever resonates with us textually may not affect somebody else. But Jesus said, "Whoever gives a cup of water to the little one shall in no wise lose their reward." A cup of water to someone who's in need, right? And this is really the definition of ministry. So I think about the kids we had at Detroit Cares. I just heard from Leon Blankenship. I don't know if Jennifer probably remembers him, but I mean, I have kids. I got a guy that joined my church, Eric Harris, just got his master's degree, came to me with a tether on at 16. Getting married. His wife is in my church, I mean, we just never know the degree to which, and I'll say this be done. People said, my kids at school, well, what are you trying to do? I said, this is what I want. I want to be 89 years old, sitting on that bus bench right there that we put out there, barely able to walk, and some young person or some younger person comes up and helps me up, gets me on the bus. And I said, why'd you help me? He said, well, remember, Reverend Sheffield, I was a student of yours at Detroit Cares, or you did this for me, right? Because that really is how you pay it forward. Give people the information again. What we want people to do is support this. They're gonna cheer my deacon boy. He's more ceremonial than anything, but we're gonna get my church to support this as well. I'm paying for 10. I'm gonna get the church to pay for 10, and we're gonna send our young people to her training so we can do liturgical dance in my class. You can't go. But go ahead. Give us the information again.
Yes, so the number is 248-599-2239, or you can go to lolamcares.org.
Spell that again.
ELOLAMCARES.org.
Okay, and that's your website.
And that's the website.
Yeah, okay, good. Ed, you have a question?
Well, all programs need help, and not just monetarily, but physically, because when you put on productions or any type of programs, you got to have people monitoring the kids when they off stage. You got to have people dealing with putting up props or whatever that's being necessary for whatever kind of show you're giving. You need a multi.
So are you going to volunteer?
I'm man, look at there you go. I can't barely walk, and you want me? I'll have a problem. But the point is, if somebody wants to volunteer,
can they?
Can they?
Yes, just reach out to us. We are always looking for volunteers.
Okay.
Yes.
Because you talk about a couple of days all day long. The instructor can't sit with the same kids all day long, so they need some breaks too.
Yeah, so how it's set up, every facilitator has a volunteer assigned to them, and they're only teaching 4 hours out of the entire day. The facilitators are. And so even though the youth, the teens, and the young adults and adults, they are in classes all day, the facilitators is not the same facilitator all the time.
Yeah, so let's say this though, because Ed raised the question. I want to make sure we dispel any misconceptions that any of the folks who work in your program and are volunteers who are adults, you have screened them.
Yes, 100%.
Right. They're not anybody just going to walk in off the street with what Ed was talking about earlier. They're going to be safe in a safe environment with people who have been pre-screened and cleared to be able to work with kids.
Yeah, that was for me. That was a joke, man.
I got you, but I just want to make sure people hear that.
Yes, 100%.
Give out the phone number again.
248-599-2239.
All right, and the website.
www.elolamcares.org.
All right, we have 1 minute. What is it, Sabrina?
Do you? This is a faith-based organization that provides this training. Do you have to be Christian, or do you welcome all types?
We welcome everyone. I don't care if you male, female, a child or an adult, atheist or Christian. You all come.
And the age group again.
We accept everybody, 5 on up.
Okay, so Ed can do it if he can walk.
He can do. He can take
do
a,
it.
He can take a choir class.
Put him in a chair, make him dance.
It's wheelchair basketball. Ed, you can do this.
Is my favorite.
All right, this has been a great show again. We welcome you to come every Saturday from 8 to 10, corner Grand River, Wyoming, biscuits, grits, and salmon croquettes. And remember, as I always said, Ed's going to add to it. Never ask anybody to do for you what you're unwilling to do for yourself.
And as always, Detroit, we love you.
All right. You've been listening to
Hey, 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 here's the wake-up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake-up call.